All right. Hey, how you doing? It's Eric. Happy Friday. Welcome to Friday Highlights, Amp Live TV, and the Amp Live Real Estate Show. I'm Erick Jimenez. I'm going to be your host today for a few minutes here. We're going to talk about some public service announcements. We're going to talk about the three, or actually I put out, was three paths. I laid out two paths for you or anybody who's interested in getting into real estate. Maybe you're in real estate, maybe shiny object action, you're stuck, you need some help. Need to get, I always think of it as like a tube, right? You got a tube and you get into the tube and you're rocking and rolling, and hey, for whatever reason you get stuck, and it's like, hey, you're trying to get to the other end. Sometimes the people think it's just easier to go back out and go back to the regular stuff, when it's like, yeah, you just got to work a little harder to get to the other side because it's a little light, or maybe sometimes it gets a little dark and you're like, man, I don't know. You just got to keep pushing till you see some light. And that light is us right here, AHA. Americans helping Americans, one American at a time, one property at a time, one family at a time, doing our part to get America back on track together with you and others across the United States of America. Powered by Amp Live Media, right back there, a broadcasting media and marketing company. and obviously our affiliated business partners and associates and sponsors. That's VIP Execs Realty, Lending and Investments, and Luxury Properties, Step into Excellence. That is an actual brokerage. So, and like I said, I laid out two paths, but it's like having that tube and then popping out the other side is an awesome thing, right? Into another world, right? Kind of like if you ever seen that movie, I forgot what it's called. What was it? I think there's some movies before. There's what was it? Land of the Lost, right? And with the family back in the day. And if you're too young, then they did a remake with the Land of the Lost, I believe, with The Rock. And they went from one. I think they went to the center of the earth, and there's like a world in there or something like that. Anyways, just had it was a cool call and some text messages. It's funny how people are, right? When it's all about, what about me? What about me? What about me? But then when it's on them, it's the same thing, right? It's like, what about me? So for example, we're helping this lady out, right? She's in pre-foreclosure, and only one really helping her out, nobody else. Same token, she's, we're trying to help her out with a couple of things. I'm not going to get paid on it. It's just more of like a thing to help out with, maybe a referral fee, for the broker, maybe hard money, or maybe it's going to be a loan, or eventually our goal obviously is if she gets to that point, then we'll help her out with buying the property and working out a JV of some sort, right? But it's funny how they kind of like, want information. And at the same token, they think, oh, this person's going to help me. That person, they're just scrambling for straws, right? And trying to figure something out. Maybe I'll do a bankruptcy and maybe that'll help me. Sure. But she went ahead and made a payment and then missed the payment and got kicked out of the payment plan. So she messed up there and got into foreclosure, and all the, for a year or so, right? Haven't made the payments and stuff. So you're, put money away. It's like, where's all the money? Say you make this good money, but where's all the money going, right? Pay your mortgage or save up some money so you can do some stuff. And, so we go through all that, go through all the stuff and try to help her and stuff, right? And then it's like, probably the only one, like I said, helping her out and, answering the phone and stuff, because we can't be at your beck and call for everything. Obviously, that's why we have phones. We got appointments, and book some time. We'll do an appointment. We try to, always respond back the same day. That is key, right? No matter what. Respond back same day. We're going to get in touch with you no matter what. Get on the phone, iron it out. And then obviously people are obviously hounding to try to buy the property and stuff, right? And, it's just funny how, it's always one way, right? So, it's just a little bit of a dance. And anything nowadays when purchasing a product, or you buy a product and you're going, hey, what about this? What about that? That's not working. This isn't working. Now, customer service should be number one, of course, right? But at the same token, people don't really look at themselves in the mirror, right? They don't walk in other people's shoes, is what I find out a lot, bro. Just working with so many people, right? Until you put it on the table and you go, what are you talking about? Do you understand this, and that? And they go, oh, Mom, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, yeah, okay, that did sound a little weird, because obviously trying to get in touch with her. But then it's like, okay, call me. So, well, I'll call you. Give me a time when I'll call you, and I'll put it on the calendar and I'll give you a call. And not just, call me sometime after 1:00. It's funny because I got to go do this. I got to do that. And I got to go do this. Call me after this time. I said, well, just give me a time and we'll lock it in. I'll put it on the calendar, right? But then I say, hey, I'm going to call you back. I got appointments before. We're going to got this live going on. And I got an appointment at 1:30, another one at 1, so let's work it in there. I'll do my best to give you a call in between those calls, which is more of a courtesy thing, right? So, but it's always interesting, right? And then people, I got a young man or a gentleman in Texas making some calls. And the difference in Texas and California is like Texas is like, hey, yeah, how much money can you give me? I'm in pre-foreclosure. I got to get out of this thing because they move a lot quicker on the pre-foreclosures. California, a little delusional. Oh, I'm going to keep my house. I'm working with my bank. Well, that's the funniest and greatest one. It's not, I don't mean to be cynical. It's just, come on, get realistic and do what you need to do to unload the piece of shit house. I don't give a shit. If you lived in it forever, it's just, it's a material thing. Right? You're not going to take it to the grave with you, right? Just move on, sell the damn thing, get as much money as you possibly can, and go move on to another chapter in your life. Once it's gone, you'll start getting, if you do it correctly, like when we come in and help you out, then you're going to get credit card offers in 6 to 8 months and start rebuilding your life. If you let it go to foreclosure, you're not going to buy anything for 2, 3, 4 years. Your credit's going to be shit for 2 or 3, 4 years, and you're just going to have to rebuild and deal with it, right? Go rent and do some other stuff. Or unless you can figure out some creative real estate investing, you can still have some bad credit or not have any money and still go buy a house, right? Right? So we can turn them into students at the same token. And when they come to their senses, I don't have any bottled water, but I think I'm going to walk over here and get me a little bottle of water because I'm going to need it, right? Because there's a lot for today, but I'm just going to jam pack it hopefully into 30 minutes. So I got 2 paths for you to be able to get in there where if you just want to find a property to buy for yourself, or you want to help out these pre-foreclosure peeps and probates, and maybe they're the tired landlords, right? Or just nice houses in nice areas where they don't have the money, 30, 40, 50, 100,000 to fix up the property. Maybe they, and they're like, I don't want to deal with people going in and out of my house. Like we got another one in South Bay down there. What is that? What do we got there? I got my glasses. Can't even read it. So we got another one in South Bay, a little delusional as well, but that's what he's calling is getting a hold of these people and say, I'm going to take care of it. I got the money. I'm going to reinstate. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, right? So I'd say maybe 90% are not going to be able to, or just won't happen. I got my uncle, my aunt, someone's going to help me out. I'm getting money here and getting a settlement. I'm hearing that one lately. I don't know. I guess people have been getting in accidents and suing everybody and trying to get settlements. I guess that must be the thing, a trend or some shit. That'd be like the second or third person I heard that's happening to. I think even the lady in South Bay is getting a settlement as well. So they're all trying to hang on and hang on and hang on and hang on to a property that they have for a while. Who gives a shit? Just move the hell on. The property is giving you stress and headaches, but yet you want to, you're not going to win the bank. And it's just, sometimes you just got to make a decision, cut the losses and move on, right? But, you live and learn, I guess. So, but even with that one out there, I think they're trying to foreclose on her because she pissed off the lender or something. There's some legal stuff. Who knows what's going on? I don't care. Bottom line is that if we can help you out, sure, it'll be cash or it's going to be terms, or maybe we'll do maybe we'll just list it for you and hand it off to VIP execs and they can help you out. But everybody trying to get these loans, it's funny. I guess something got passed, I think, for seconds in California. Of course, it's California, shitty California, where, they killed that secondary market where they're helping out and giving loans and seconds to people. And then they wrote some stuff up. And then obviously once people found out, they did the unscrupulous thing and said, I don't have to pay you. I don't got to do this. So everybody going to court and all kinds of stuff. So that kills it for people who actually need the help. Like this lady in South Bay can use the help. Get that second, pay off that 100, 200,000, whatever the loan is, and get that evil lady off, and then replace it with maybe a lender who actually has some morals and stuff that's really there to help and just want to collect the check, right? There's trusts and family trusts that do that stuff, right? And then even a few others we're coming across where it helped them out. Now, it doesn't mean it'll kill our deal. At the end of the day, that's okay. But if it can help them out, and I already know it's a temporary Band-Aid. Because you can always go look at title and see the repetition. Either foreclosure, notice of rescission. Foreclosure, notice of rescission. Foreclosure, notice of rescission. So, man, don't you get tired of that? Or you're just running a marathon of endless loop of cycleness, right? But, that was the thing about Texas and California, right? Texas is like common sense. Yeah, let's get that thing sold and give me some money. California, delusional, and who knows, right? Not to say anything bad about people, but it is what it is. And it's got to come to, realization that, hey, if you can get it done, go for it. If not, sell it, liquidate it, find a good investor who's going to cash you out, or that's what we're doing, right? So, you got to play a lot of that. And there's a lot of people, because I think when I talked to the South Bay lady, it's like, yeah, well, I'm getting offers and offers. The vultures are all out. I said, yeah, I hear you. How many offers? I said, how many offers you get? I got 3. I go, okay, let me guess. I guarantee you. He goes, what? So I guarantee you they're all verbal, right? Yeah, how'd you know? Because they're all bullshit, right? You got a bunch of monkeys in a barrel, bullshit, writing offers on the phone and all that good shit. I get it, right? No one's going to say, look, the only way, I'm not going to give you an offer. We're going to go belly to belly. We're going to set an appointment. I'm not going to come to your house just to look at it and visit with you and kumbaya and all that good stuff and look at the property and then get you an offer later. No, if I'm going to make the time and take the time with my team to come view the property, take pictures, do video, assess your property, and then drop some offers on the table, some solutions for you while we're there. And if you're serious, then we're going to write it up and we're going to work a deal that day. No, you don't get to think about it. You can show your attorney all you want and all that good stuff, right? Bring your attorney with you. I don't care. We'll go up against them people because attorneys are deal breakers. They're not deal makers. They don't know how to make deals. All they know how to do is break deals, right? And it's just going to cost them money. Always does. Until they go, you know what? Yeah, I'm done. Fuck that. I don't want to pay that attorney. Anyways, let's go and do it. And then we move forward and help them out and move on with their lives. And we make a couple of bucks because that is our job, right? We get paid for our extraordinary superpowers and our skill sets. And it's okay. It's a different jam, a different role. But like I said, I got 2 roles here. One is the first path right there. I don't think I have my we got to scan that. Oh, okay. I'm bringing this up. We're doing this right now. Check it out. Right there. And I think that's the 1900 one. I'm actually going to bring up the QR code. And I'm going to say it right there. There it is. Take advantage of that. We'll bring that back open for our founders. And then the founders are 147. Charter members are 1997. And I believe the QR code for that one is this one here. Get in the game. There it is. You scan that QR code, get in the game. It's also in the post, okay? So I'll repost it with the links. There's going to be actually 3 links. So there's 2 paths, right? 2 paths to being able to learn how to do this business, get into the business, learn how to rock deals, wholesale, fix, flip, buy, hold, seller finance, and sub 2, right? Those are all 3 of the juicy ones and the ones that you're going to need to be successful in this business for the long term. Now, obviously, this is a $12,997 program, and I'm going to share a couple of things. We're celebrating 250 years of awesome American awesomeness. But let me go ahead and put this in here in the chat. So if you see this, you can go forward, backwards, and all that good stuff. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to write down every path that's available or just copy every path that's available here for you. But I thought that was funny. And I'm the only person helping. Now people are knocking on the door. I heard your house is in foreclosure. Your house is in foreclosure. So, people are going, unless you build that relationship, right? And not everybody's loyal, right? But you can sit there and talk shit, but see how loyal you are, right? That's what's funny at the end of the day. So you got to be careful because you can get ripped off by the little old lady from Pasadena. Will break out the big machete and shank you in the back and take your money and has no remorse about it. It's happened before. It's happened to us a long time ago in the past, right? So you got to watch out for those people that are 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old. You're probably taking advantage. No, they know what they're doing. Male, females, it could be any age, right? 30, 40, 50. They're just unscrupulous in what they do and what they say, and it's all a game. So you gotta watch out for those red flags and not be so nice, right? So. And I get it, but it's part of the jam, right? Because obviously this lady entrusted us. She moved forward. She was like, oh, no, I don't want to do anything. And there we are, moving forward. But it's just part of the progression as we'll follow up because obviously, there's magic and money in the follow-up. And that's why we stay in touch, right? Even if she says no. We have an awesome call, even like the South Bay lady, whole story, crazy story. It sounds like a damn movie. Sounds like this, whatever happened to you can't be real. Or you either got some NMA on your light in your soul or aura or something. NMA means negative mental attitude, and all you bring is negative shit to you, like a freaking vortex. I'm like, I don't even know if I want to be part of that, right? or it's just, hey, most likely 9 times out of 10 it's the way they think, right? And it's always a victim. It's always me. They did this to me. They did that. They did this. They did that. So you got to watch out for that when you hear a lot of that, right? So, but if you can get in clean, get out, make sure it's clean. If it's just whatever, at the time, you just got to be careful and make sure you put it all in writing, document everything so you're covered in case something does happen. And if you do that through protocol anyways, and everything you do, there's usually not a problem. Even if they say there is, or if they think there is, you just documented it, because they will always put their foot in their mouth at the end of the day, because they're, people are unscrupulous and people who lie, and then they forget about stuff and they don't document stuff, and then they just repeat the same shit. And as far as saying, I'm going to do this, and then well, no, you said this, and you told me this. You said you're going to do this, man, but you didn't do this. But yet then you're calling me on saying something about this and that, saying, well, you didn't follow through. There's a reason why you're behind in payments, right? Because you don't take care of your obligations and stuff, right? So life happens, but it is what it is. But it's cool stuff. Same thing like probate. When you get probates, they're going to be like, oh, you're like a vulture. And, my dad just died. My aunt just died. My grandma just died. My cousin just died. Someone just passed, but that's life. Life, people pass. I had to figure that out when my father died, and I took it really hard. And, a mentor, I should say just, I don't know if he's a mentor, but somebody in our family who's a business owner, has been around forever. And he's like, everybody grieves differently, Eric, right? But people die every single day. You just have to accept that. Even the closest ones to you, right? It's going to hurt, but you'll get over it. I promise you. I said, okay, I had to think about that. And it's true, right? So, life is what it is. You just keep moving forward. So, but we got something awesome for you. Check it out. The AMP Live American Mentee Program. That was a pre-launch. We'll pull it back up. We're going to bring it down. We got some cool testimonials and stuff from people, and just some stories from our founders and charter members as we bring on more people just for the AMP Live Creative Real Estate Investing Accelerator, not to mention our American Mentee Program, right? That is our true one-on-one mentoring program. But today I wanted to talk about Friday highlights, what's going on in the area, what's going on in the industry, right? Pre-foreclosures. As you can see, right, there's like, it's kind of like night and day, right? Give me some money. I know what we need to do. Let's move on. That's Texas. And California, delusional crystal ball type shit, right? As I like to call it, right? It makes it a little harder, yes, but it's just a waiting game. It's either the outcomes are this: they'll reinstate and they'll go back into the same shit, and you follow up. I've had people in our database for 2-3 years. Same thing: rescission, notice the default, rescission, notice the default, rescission, notice the default. And then finally, some of them we missed, right? It's like, okay, geez, that person, we didn't follow up. Maybe good enough. And we go look it up, and maybe they respond back and they go, oh, they're angry for whatever reason, right? Even though we're there a couple of years to help them out. And then they try to stretch it out. And they say some stupid words. And then all of a sudden, what the hell is going on? Oh, okay. The house sold already or whatever. So knucklehead, we were there two years ago to help you out. Right? Instead, you want to stretch it out. And to the point where you got to live there. Cool. Probably for free for 2 years. But now you got a foreclosure on the record. You're all stressed out. And then you didn't even get any money out of the house. So they lost the equity. It went to the bank. I didn't go to the bank. I went to the auction. And then an investor bought it at the auction. So, been seeing that lately. We can actually go to the auction and buy it cheaper, just from the numbers that we've been seeing, that you can actually buy it cheaper at the auction than the numbers that we're offering, right? And I try to tell that to sellers. Say, look, even telling stories of the Altalando Marine Corps guy, right? Ex-Marine Corps, ex-business guy, blah, 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 ego, pasture, offered him more money. Didn't take it. Thought he was getting, all this, that. I won't even get into that crazy story, but maybe I will. You jump aboard the program and hear all the stories, because our story is going to be your stories. And then you're going to tell that story to someone else and you go, oh my God. I used the same story to talk to the lady in, I believe it was Carson, and about her property. I said, don't take too long. You keep on waiting. I guarantee you, we're going to be at the auction. We're going to buy your property. We'll probably be talking anyways. I just might be at your door next time, offering you some cash for keys instead, right? Which happens a lot. All right. Anyways, let's get to it. But that's available there. I'm going to pull up that's the first path, right, to rocking and rolling. Heck, I'll just go ahead and read it verbatim, probably. Why not? Shit. All right. So it says today, right? Erick Jimenez here with the 500 millionth show. Woo! I'm just kidding. 2 p.m. Here we are. Welcome to Friday Highlights Amp Live TV and the Amp Live Real Estate Show, celebrating 250 years of freedom, right? Freedom, freedom, freedom. Now it's time to own your own place. I should say your own piece, right? Means your own piece of America, business, land, property, whatever it may be, whatever your ventures are urging you to do. 250 years ago, a group of bold Americans declared their independence and staked their claim on, yes, this American land here. Today, we're honoring that legacy with something that's been on my heart for a long time, and that is the AHA cause and mission, and trying to open up people's eyes, right? And sharing that. I'll tell you, when I first got started, in the first decade I got started, I said, no, I'll share it with nobody, not even with my family. Top secret stuff. You come to my office, nothing on the computers. Go check the files. There's nothing in the files. No contracts, no agreements, no deals, nothing. Just stuff to run the business and market and stuff like that, and have some coffee and, kumbaya that stuff, because everything was at home on discs, hard drives, as well as in my bag, because that stuff would roll, the contracts roll with me, and I'd put them in my own little, war chest of deals and contracts, right? That was money. Each contract, right? I was like, man, that's cool. Each contract worth 5, 10, 15, 50, $100,000. And you're stacking them up, right? And then you put them in there and you roll them to your office and roll them back, because people will be looking for that stuff. How do I find this? How do I do that, right? Got to keep it all under wraps. People go, how'd you get that property? Agents, brokers, how did you get that property? What'd you do with that property? Because you put it on your website as zero. Oh, how are you legal? Yeah, it's my website. I can do whatever I want. It's my marketing company. There's some different types of things that I've done in the past, and we still do. We pass it on to our mentees and students through the American Mentee Program, and yes, through the Amp Live, now our Amp Live Creative Real Estate Investing Accelerator, ta-da, right, for our 500 millionth show. All right, so this is basically what I've done. So today we're honoring that legacy with something that's been on my heart for a long time, the Amp Live Creative Real Estate Investing Accelerator. Yes, it's now open. It's official. I've created 2 paths, right? Two paths specifically for Americans who are ready to own property and, yes, build wealth. That's my whole mission. It's even on my goals, like I mentioned every morning. It's on my goals along with my other 2 or 3 other pages. And, oh my God, too many, right? I'm going to start cleaning them up. But I will say that if you read it and you study it, and I've noticed, I've looked at it every year, go back, I go, wow, that happened. That's cool. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. I got to work on that. Endless, right? So I guess I'm trying to adopt the no noise thing, like, no noise, one thing, and then move forward, right? Anyways, but that's the cause and mission. That's what I wanted to do is to, kind of like me, my eyes opened up when I go, man, okay, I just thought I was just locked in, because the system locks you in and makes you think that you can't get out, right? Call it the matrix, call it whatever you want, but it's the system that does what it does to indoctrinate you to think a certain way. So when you start thinking freely and you start thinking outside of the box, then things start changing. That's what happened with me when I started learning creative real estate investing, not regular real estate. Oh, get my credit, go get a house. Yes, if you're going to buy a bunch of property and, get a syndication and a funding, a fund put together and all that good stuff and Cardone it. Cool. That's awesome. It's a totally different jam, but this is just for the family, right? One investor is one family. So if you're touching one investor, you're touching the whole family, then hey, that makes sense to me, right? Even if it's organic, right? Even if it is the butterfly effect. So the Amp Live Creative Real Estate Investing Accelerator is now open. I've created 2 paths specifically for Americans who are ready to own property and build wealth. Now, path number 1, $147, do-it-yourself self-study. Okay, what we did when we launched in April, the end of April, was totally different. So some of them people, founders and charter members, it's a different jam, right? We're helping them move forward. Doesn't mean it won't help you if you rise to the top and you show up to the party and you reach out and you show us that, hey, make that dedication and make it reciprocal, right? You invest in us, we'll invest in you, and we'll do something together. Guarantee it, I promise you. But everything you need to start investing in real estate creatively, subject to seller finance, wholesale, at an Alex Harmazi style. Remove the excuse price, right? Pre-sales right there. I put it in the chat. Go grab it. Take advantage of it while you can, because that's going to be gone. I guarantee you by what's the day? Friday? By Sunday, I'll shut it back down again, and it won't be available anymore. So take advantage of it. Obviously, we're going to have some other people on here that are going to share what they're doing. Oh, maybe I already did. Did I have somebody on here? Let me see. Who is it? Oh, okay, Rod. How long you been there, brother? How's it going, Rod?
How's it going, Eric? Just jumped in about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, cool. Good for you, man. How's it going?
So far, so good, man. I'm really happy. I know we have a letter of intent going out today, and we're drafting an actual offer later today after this live. So I'm really happy, and I'm trying to get the deal flowing, deal flow coming through.
Right, exactly. Yeah, man, I'm excited for you, man. It's gonna happen because at the end of the day, it's just about getting that deal flow ready and taking things. It's a little bit of a different jam, right? Obviously, and the way we're doing it with you is kind of a different type of case, but you're following through. And then again, we all got what calendars, and you got family, you got 2 kids, you got a wife, she has a business, you got business and IT stuff, right? So in between all that, you're still moving forward. And what I love about it is that you're actually taking action, man. Taking action is like everything, right?
Oh yeah. It's remember what I was telling you? I think when about a month ago when you started talking, dealing with a lot of, getting in the program and everything.
Yeah.
Mostly like I could do like the back end a lot, since coming from an IT background, setup, leads generation, you name it. Everything that has to do with technology sounds easy for me. It's the follow up and the lead, outputting offers as fast as possible as soon as they come in. And I'm noticing that more and more now that over the last 3 weeks since you and I have been working together, that it's becoming a little bit easier to just kind of output offers or output and run numbers faster to get offers out.
Yeah, and that's just the beginning, man. Because when we start getting into the Amplified method, the art of the deal, right? Chatting with these sellers, going belly to belly, and actually moving forward. Getting pictures and videos and just taking down the whole enchilada, getting more contracts, more close of escrows, and you're at that point now. So that's awesome. It's like I said, about 3 weeks already writing some offers, and I think what clicked in you, I think if it's okay if I share it, man, is like you had that frustration point. And I talk about it a lot when I'm doing these lives every once in a while, even like today for sure, is I got frustrated, worked a corporate job for 12, 14 years, and 70, 80, 90 hours a week on a salary. And I finally said, man, there's got to be a better way, right? And I need, I'm working for pennies on the dollar when it comes out there because I was salary of 45 hours, right? And you're an IT guy, and I think you went out and you visited the family and stuff. You did some stuff and came back and said, Eric, man, I need to do some stuff. Man. I need to make this thing work, right? And I remember that stuck out in my mind. I go, that's what it takes, right? It's usually that part. And that's where the time when a lot of people come aboard our one-on-one mentoring program because they go, man, look, I'm serious. This is what I need. I know I need to do this, and I'm going to need your help to make this happen, right? And that's what I think when I saw you click. I mean, it doesn't mean I knew you were serious in the beginning, but I think after that text I got, man, is like it really set you on fire.
Yeah, definitely. And then just getting the hang of things and being proactively setting up a time block. But that's what I'm trying to become better at it. Being in IT, my schedule is very. It's all over the place, and sometimes when I'm home, I'm trying to become a little bit more disciplined on setting time blocks.
Okay.
This is what I need to do for IT, and this is what I want to dedicate for real estate. And sometimes it's easier, to forget about it or just be like, I'll do it later. I'm at home, kids are here. And I don't even know what I'm going to do now. I have to figure out a backup plan because kids just got out of school today and they're on vacation until August.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's like it is going to become a little harder to do the time block when they're here. But nonetheless, I have to figure out a way.
Well, let me tell you a story, and I'll do it right here because usually we'll do this. I usually like we either got students or we got mentees. We have a chit chat about it because that usually will happen, and then I just share my story, right? Because as we're getting older, which is cool, as the kids were getting older, right? And I decided to do this full time. My wife went full time as well in the mortgage business, real estate business, and then I just said, look, I went and got my job. I have my job, and I started doing deals. Once I made enough money, I said, boom. F you to the job, and went full time. But even then, it doesn't have to be full time. My advice is this: look, when the kids, they're going to know when dad's on the phone, it's business, right? When mom's on the phone, it's business, and then they learn because if you're in the house or you're out doing something, they know if you share it with them, right? Let them know what's happening in a family environment, then they will. They'll stay silent, right? Now they're kids. They're gonna laugh. They're gonna do stuff. Every time you're trying to do something, that's when like the magnet comes, right? Hey, dad. Hey, mom. Hey, dad. Hey, mom. Because they want your attention, right? And you don't want to feel guilty, like, oh, I got to give my attention to getting young. That's why I got into this business because I wasn't seeing my kids, right? I wasn't seeing my family. They go off to Disneyland. I had to work. Dad had to work, right? So or doing something, barbecue, go spend time with family. I had to work. So I said, well, doing this business, we have the phone. Now we got laptops, right? iPads. 2 seconds. Got to take a call. Boom, boom. Hey, dad, I'll be right back. Okay, babe. Boom. Go take off. Take the call. Come on back. Where's dad at? Oh, he's probably in the front yard, in the backyard. He's in the car. He's over here. He's there. Step out for a second. The kids understand that, right? And it kind of grooms them if they decide to do that. They make a choice, right? Hey, I want to be like dad. I want to be like mom. I don't be an entrepreneur. I want to tap into the business later. And then there's going to be others like, nah, I don't want to do that. Nah, I'm just going to get a job, right? I just want somebody to tell me what to do until they get frustrated, right? And then they're going to go, shit, I think I want to come and do the work, the business, right? So when you're doing these time blocks, you just got to let them know, hey, dad's doing this for who? For you, right? And for the family. So we can have more freedom and do more things. As we grind now, shine later, as I always tell the young millennials, right? Grind now, shine later. Don't say, 20 years, I miss my childhood. I want to do this in my 20s and my 30s, because 40s and 50s are going to roll very quickly. So when you're doing your time blocks, you just got to do it, man. Let wherever your little office is, I don't care, slice a little bit of desk or a little chair for your wife or for your business, right? Well, right now, just talk about what you do in the business and know that that's there and know that it's important, right? Because if you don't, what's going to happen? Remember, I told you, if we don't get it, another investor is going to get the deal. Another agent's going to get the deal. Some wholesaler is going to get your deal. That was your money. It should have been in your family's bank account, right? Well, because like you're saying, the accountability thing, right? Oh, I'm going to do this. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do this. I'll do that. Because if it's not speed to lead and you're not rocking on speed, getting stuff out, right now it's just kind of a learning phase, right? So if you notice, I'm not hounding you very hardcore, right? Letting you, hey, you got to do this, no problem. Enjoy, man. Kids are awesome. I know, because they grow up fast, right? But if you share that with your kids, you let them know and kind of let them know what the new outlook of your household is going to be, right? Because obviously you're building a business. You're going to start. You need to take it serious. That it is a business. You know that it is. I don't got to tell you that. Your wife knows about her business, right? But you mix it in kind of with your family while you're doing that stuff, and they'll start understanding, right? They go, oh, dad's on the phone. Okay, cool. Right? Do your thing, brother, right? And then lock up a deal. Do your submission, get the full submission. Because like I said, the more submissions you get, the more appointments you're going to get, the more offers you're going to make. That means more COEs, more close of escrows, more cash for you and your wife and your kids, and even for us, because the way we're doing it, right? So it's like boom. That's what I would suggest. And I don't know if you do family meetings. I know early on we started doing like family meetings. This is what's happening. This is what mom and dad are doing. This is what you guys are going to be doing. This is what we're going to do for vacation. And then we turn in those vacation trips and go to JW Resort, because I'm going to a seminar, and then Liz is going. I'll attend, even though I got everybody tickets, right? But the kids, they go hang out at the pool, they go eat, they go do their stuff. Liz is still doing business because she brings a laptop with her. I bring my laptop. I go to the seminar, do my stuff. I'm still doing some business on the phone, and then the kids get to enjoy stuff, right? And that's kind of how they see the benefit of that stuff, right? They go, oh man, okay, cool. Will they understand it? Maybe, maybe not. Over a period, when they get older, they definitely will, right? They go, man, mom and dad hustled, man. They're doing that's cool. That's awesome, right? Does that make sense?
I think my 12-year-old will definitely understand that. Obviously, the little one, he's barely 7. So, but I know that my 12-year-old, she'll definitely understand that.
Yeah. And then kids are very resilient, man. And then you got to remember, like from 3 to 5 to 7, that's what builds, whatever's done at that time kind of sets into their mind and mantra. And kids are like clay, so they can be molded into anything you want. And they understand the rules or not rules. It always comes down to the parents, right? At the end of the day. And then just being, I always say you can have excuses and results, not both. Right. And sometimes there's going to be sacrifices, and you got to make some sacrifices to do what you want, to have what other people have. If you want what other people have, then you got to do some things that you're not comfortable in doing that most people are not willing to do. Right. That's why they don't have what other people have. Right. So it's like, there's no, people think, oh, I want to have it all. I want to have, what's the happy medium, right? You'll figure out your happy medium when it comes, but there's always going to be a little bit of sacrifice, and it's not a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it, and I do like the idea. Actually, now that you brought it up, I've never really thought about it. I'm more Hispanic than anything. I grew up in Bolivia. I came here when I was 18.
Awesome.
So there was no, coming from Latino parents, very traditional. We never really had like family meetings where we're like talking about future stuff. I think that's a great idea that I would probably definitely implement in my family. I think that kind of sets the tone for the whole family, I think.
You're right, man. And that's just like I said, it's like your own piece of America, man. We all should be going after that, right? Because it's funny. We've been having this, and then we decided to launch this 250-year anniversary. Own a piece of America. You should be able to buy a house with no money, this and that. Everybody should learn creative real estate investing to some degree, or at least have a business of some sort, a high side hustle. Simply because if the government allows you to do it, then you should be allowed to do it. But most people say, no, I can't do that. That's never going to work for me, or I'm not smart enough, or I don't make enough money to do all that tax stuff that they do. Who cares, right? The laws are there to allow you to do that stuff, and you should. And that's been my whole goal for AHA, American African Americans, and then AMP Live, American Mentee Program, AMP Live Media, and even VIP Execs, brother. VIP Execs Realty Lending and Investments is based on a lot of the customer service stuff, right? Because she's brokerages, and they promise her this, promise you that, promise you this, and then they don't deliver. You go, man, I just open up my own brokerage, do my own thing, right? And then give that you're not getting from other brokerages and give it to other people, right? That's how I started with real estate. After I started doing real estate, and then hearing all the horror stories, brother. I think I shared that with you. And I go, wow, sheesh, man. Do we want to get in that space? Let's help our fellow Americans. Let's help our people, man, right? Because we all live here. We're all here to do what? Same thing. You and I. Yeah. And everybody else that I talk to, 9 times out of 10, unless they're single, right? Then it's all about build that legacy, right? Family, give to the family, because you want, before you pass, you can't take it with you, but you want to leave it with who? Your kids, your family members, and teach some people to be able to keep that wealth going through generations, right? And people don't go to, Bolivia or China or Russia. They all come here to America, right?
Yeah.
For a reason. And then I know I said it before. I wouldn't want to go anywhere. It's probably cool to go hang out for a week or two. And then I'm probably gonna be mad now. I want to stay right here. I'll stay right here.
Yeah, I mean, I personally haven't gone to Bolivia since I came here. I really don't have. Yeah, I really don't have anyone over there. I do have cousins, but it's like they're not very close. Both my parents are here. They've been here since they brought us here in 2000. A lot of the family from my mom's side is here, so there hasn't really been a need for it. I do know I do want to take a trip. I told my wife, I'm like, because she's from Peru, so we're neighbors in South America. So we talked about doing, obviously knocking down this wholesaling stuff, sub two, getting a few deals flow, and taking a family vacation where we could do, a few weeks in Peru, a few weeks in Bolivia, and then come back, so our kids can learn the roots.
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah. Heck, you might get the bug where some people, they love the traveling thing, right? And a lot of people say, hey, because usually when someone comes aboard our one-on-one mentoring program, there's like a micro goal sheet, and we keep that all private, right? It's like, what do you want to achieve month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 12? Tell me your 2-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals, right? And they don't always have to be about real estate, right? They can be monetary and what's the word I'm looking for? It's not monetary. It's there's a word for I can't remember right now, but there's stuff that you just want to like help other people, like travel. Some people, hey, I just want to travel the world. I want to be able to have the money to do that, but I know I can do the business on here, or I want to open up a church, or I want to feed the homeless, or I want to go, maybe back home or something, right? Or I want to buy my mom a house, or whatever it may be, right? So there's things that they want to do, and then there's also so they don't have to be all real estate related, right? And you do that, and it's a good thing because obviously that's going to be on your table, right? To go after some of those buy and hold properties, right? Because you have buy and hold properties, that's going to put your kids to college, and maybe later on, maybe you want to cash them out and move into multi-family. Maybe it's storage units, maybe assisted living, right? Whatever it may be, but it's going to be whatever you and your wife are, okay with doing, right? Because everybody's a little different, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have to do all the work. Obviously, you got services and things of that nature to help you with that, but just depends on how deep you get into it. So that's cool that you want to do that, and that should be obviously fun. It'd be fun for the kids and all that good stuff too as well. So that's some awesome goals you got there, brother.
And I think one of the things that I've also just to add to it.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I'm doing well, my kids are doing well. So that's a no-brainer.
Right.
But at the same time, for me, it's like coming from Latino community and coming from immigrant parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's something to give back, both my wife's parents and mine. So it's something that we really have that in our minds. They're not getting any younger, so it is our duty to help them, to be there for them and make sure that we are set so that we can help them out and we can help them out in their retirement.
Yeah, right. No, that's awesome, man. And that's the part of like Hispanics and how we do stuff is like taking care of. It's like they take care of us when we're getting older, and then our job is to take care of them, when they get older, right? Not everybody's like that, right? Some are like, hey, like baby boomers, man, let's sell the house, and you're going into a home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I mean,
we don't do this.
Yeah,
we'll hang out, we'll live with us. We'll get them a little seat on the back or whatever, but they're going to be with us. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, my grandma on my mom's side, she's 96, and she's living she's living with one of my aunties in Vegas. Both my parents live in Vegas too, so it's a long-lived life, man. Honestly,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, 97. That's the 96 years old.
Yeah, 96.
Man, I hope I get to be 96, man. I'm not gonna lie. Before when I was younger, I was like, no, I don't want to, be 70, 80, 90 years old. I'm like, man, that'd be grateful because you can see the kids, grandkids, great-great-grandkids if you can. That's as you get older, you start changing. Your mindset starts changing. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
Yeah,
but that's the goal. That's the goal. Those are the whys, and there's a reason why I'm doing this.
No, I hear you. No, and then we're definitely gonna help you get there. At the same token, we appreciate you, putting your trust in us and journey, and taking the advice and moving forward and shifting, right? Because we move forward and get deeper into this, right? Obviously, it's having that leap of faith, and executing, and then then seeing the results, right? And sometimes it is sometimes the stuff you've learned in the past, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Just depends on what you're wanting to achieve, right? And then we adapt to that and go, hey, sometimes we got to, reprogram a couple of things so you can open up your eyes a little bit more. Or maybe it was something that you were shown or taught, right? If you're going to do it, then cool. Then let's get it done the way it should be done. Or if that's the goal, or massage it and go, hey, you know what? You need to change a couple of things, right? Which is cool. Well, I think for me, anyways, when I got a mentor or a coach, it was like, hey, I was thinking about this and doing this and doing that. And then all of a sudden, he says, no, let's go ahead and do this, this, and that. And I go, geez, I didn't even think about that. But I guess that's cool because it maybe works for them, and then you just adopt it, and then you start massaging it, and then start making it your own, right? Because that's what Sam Walton did with Walmart, man, right? he just looked at a bunch of other stuff, and he kept on moving forward. And he started off with the franchise, the Ben Franklin stores, right, 5 and dimes, and they started like, I guess, constricting him on what he can do and things of that nature, because obviously it's for a franchise. And he said, man, I'll just open up my own 5 and dime franchises. And then it turned into Walmart and then the super centers, right? Now look at how big they are. But of course, now you have what? Amazon.
Amazon is killing it all.
Yeah, Amazon's kicking their ass, man. I would have thought that would be the day, because Walmart was around for so long, just destroying everybody. Was it Sears, J.C. Penney's, supermarkets? They're kicking their butts. Obviously, they didn't want them to come into small towns because they would destroy the mom and pop stores, man.
And they still. I mean, I see here. Yeah, I'm in Santa Clarita, and it's crazy the amount of businesses on the retail side, how they're closing. Everything on the retail side is closing. The Westfield, the Westfield Mall here in Santa Clarita was bought like 2 years ago by Texas and private investors.
Really?
And now they're trying to make it into a living, like condos or townhomes with.
Really?
Yeah. Look it up. Westfield, Santa Clarita. There's a Texas company that bought them, building $2.7 billion or something like that. It was just like 2 years ago. So now they're gonna have residential and business at the same time, kind of like Japanese style.
Like work here, live here type thing?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, wow. That's the high density stuff, man, that California is allowing.
I don't even know, man.
Some of the laws, man, they're doing that stuff. They're passing laws to do crazy shit now.
Yeah, you're in the Inland. Is it Inland Empire that you're in?
Huh?
Are you in the Inland Empire?
I'm in actually the Diamond Bar Chino Hills area, so it's like borderline of LA and San Bernardino.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, you got a lot of outlets in the area, like where you can move around. Here, when I moved out here in Santa Cruz, like in 2018, traffic wasn't as bad. But now, tell me about it. There's about 10,000, if not 15,000 homes being built in Santa Clarita this year.
Wow.
It is insane. And the traffic, it's no joke, man. No joke at all. Yeah. And the problem is, like, Santa Clarita, there's only one outlet. You have the 5 and the 14 meeting at the end, like where that, and there's only one outlet to get out of Santa Clarita.
Wow.
So the bottleneck is becoming even worse.
That sucks.
Sometimes I hate driving, man.
I don't blame you. There's some people who can handle the driving stuff, but I got to the point, I'm not gonna lie. When we set appointments, like if we got to go to South Bay to miss you-know-who, right? I was talking about that earlier today. We got to go drop and go belly to belly, view the house and all that good stuff, right? So we can drop our offer. Then, I won't do it unless there's no traffic, right? We're either in the morning or when traffic's coming the opposite direction, then let's go that way, right? But even then, you know how that goes. There's always traffic. Someone's always crashing. They always got some lanes. They're working on the freaking roads. And I just don't want to be in like bumper to bumper in the morning or coming back from LA, coming down to the Inland Empire. Forget it. So I always try to schedule, unless, emergency. We got to get to the cellar. Then let's go, let's roll, and then let's drive in some traffic, right?
I mean, I get it. I mean, last week I was telling you Monday through Wednesday, I don't think I'm going to do much of real estate. It was brutal, man. I was leaving my house at 6:30, getting to the client at 8 a.m., 8:15, and then coming back, it was like another hour and a half, 1:40. I was almost 2-hour drive, dude.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's like jumping on a Disneyland ride for 2-3 hours. Stand in line for a couple of minutes of enjoyment, but obviously that sucks. Yeah, man.
So it's I mean, I'll do it because it's like once in a while that I have to go like out that far. So and they pay well, so I was like, okay, right. I'll fine with it.
Yeah. It's part of the gig. If you can avoid it. If you can't, you got to do it, right? That's just. Yeah. Part of the gig, like you said, man, at the end of the day. So yeah. So as far as far as things are going, yeah, we got, I'm gonna write some more offers. We'll do that. Obviously Fridays, I like to just talk about like public service announcements, kind of the stuff that I've heard. I'm not gonna lie. I heard a couple of things with gentlemen. We're trying to get a hard money loan for, even remember I keep repeating the South Bay lady, right?
Yeah.
And remember, she wanted to get a second so she can get that crazy lady off her back, right? And go that route. So I called up an older gentleman, or he actually reached out to me. I think, I don't know, it's kind of been like the universe thing, right? You think about it and all of a sudden, boom, someone pops up and go, hey, yeah, I got somebody who's looking for mobile homes. Okay, cool. Then this person brings a mobile home. Hey, I'm looking for something over in Big Bear, and then something pops up, or like for the seconds, right? Because we're another lady in Carson on a first. But then originally it was going to start off as a second, but then all of a sudden this older guy from my past, HJ, who does hard money and all this other good stuff, he ended up sending me a text. And I go, okay, hey, what's up? How you been? Man, it's been years. What's going on? Hey, you guys do seconds? Yeah, we're doing a bunch of seconds, rocking and rolling, helping people, making a lot of money and stuff, right? And then the state of California and writing some laws to eliminate or doing some things where it makes it very, very risky. I mean, seconds are already risky as it is, right? But at least this way, hey, if you got something, you got a first, there's enough equity, they can handle the first, they're making good money, and they're going to do a second to do whatever they need to do. That makes sense, right? It's secure by the first and all that good stuff. They're not going to go into foreclosure. But they wrote in some stuff where it makes it super risky to the point where people could complain, they can bitch, hey, they don't have to pay the second, so then you get into that thing. And so they're in court a lot right now, right? Trying to get their money. Seconds have got squashed, and it squashed that whole little business, because usually some people do a second and then they'll sell off the paper, right? Because they have the note business, which is very, very big for people who buy notes, that cash flow stuff. They go, hey, I don't want to own any real estate. I'd rather just buy that note for 60, 70, 80 cents on the dollar, collect on it. I'll buy it from you, and you originated it, and then like a bank, and collect on it, right? So I guess that happened. So that's why we knew I already knew kind of when she said, hey, on Tuesday, I'm either going to get a loan or I'm going to sell it, right? And I'm like, whatever. Even talked to Liz, the broker. She goes, no one's going to give her a loan. And she's going to have to sell it, right? And I said, hey, did she respond back to you on Tuesday? What we did, remember we both reaching out to her. And she's like, oh, yeah, I don't know. Now she's trying to get a first, right? I'm trying to do a refi. No one's going to give you a damn refi, right? You're in foreclosure, didn't pay the damn bills and stuff. So, you know what I mean? But just for anybody who watches it, I guess they came out with some laws for the seconds. But it's okay for the government, right? They got Cal Hoffa, they got FHA, and they'll go ahead and do a second to kind of help you out. But then they want a piece of your equity, right? And they also are silent loans. So it's okay for the government to do it, but not regular people or investors or regular fellow Americans to help each other out, right? Which I think is bullshit. But that's California for you, man. You know what I mean? They just keep on, they make laws on laws on laws. It is what it is. But that's kind of what's going to start happening. And I also heard another thing here from Freddie and FHA and Fannie and all that good stuff. About 44,000, I believe. I think, don't quote me on that, but I think it's 44,000 properties got foreclosed on. And that usually doesn't happen, man. Those are government loans. You believe that?
Oh, yeah, I bet. I mean, there's a lot of those right now.
Huh?
There's a lot of those right now. A lot of foreclosures happening.
Well, yeah, it's just, and what's funny is that usually the government don't foreclose on properties, right? They usually want to stretch it out, work it out. If something's happening. Now, I'm not trying to be any conspiracy thing or whatever. I always like to look at the facts and see what's going on. But that hasn't happened in a long time. Last time, I believe, when HUD Homes started foreclosing on people was back in I think the late 90s. And I know because up in Palmdale, remember, you're down there in Santa Clarita type area, right? You remember, Palmdale, Lancaster?
Yeah.
Okay. So Palmdale, Lancaster, when I was out there last cycle, there was I see all these houses. I go, man, why are all these houses? What's wrong with them? They're all gutted, right? The plumbing's taken out, electrical's taken out, walls are literally down to the stud, right? And I asked a broker, he was from Realty Executives at the time, and a Hispanic guy, and it's like he'd get all the HUD accounts and all the stuff like that. So because he was a minority, and people get messed up because he got the account and all that good stuff. Long story short, with that is I asked him, why are all those properties like that? You see, because HUD started foreclosing right after they did these loans, and they started foreclosing on people instead of working it out. So they got pissed off and said, cool, no problem. Here you go. gave the keys to whoever. They go in and would strip out the shit and tear it all up. And they go, oh, you got, it's kind of like a 2008 thing where if you got a loan, a lot of people were here's the keys. I don't want the house. Giving it back to Countrywide, right?
Yeah.
But started foreclosing. And usually that doesn't happen. And now I heard that 44,000 properties were foreclosed on through HUD. It's kind of weird, but I don't know why, if it's because of the treasury bonds and all that bullshit stuff that's going on with the economy, whatever. But, and then, and regular banks are foreclosing too, right? So you're not being able to stay in your house 2, 3, 4, 5 years anymore, right? Banks, hey, your number comes up, California, 90 days. Then you got a little bit of time, then 45 days goes the auction, man. And I'm seeing some people, I was talking about that a little earlier, where people are say, just take the money, right? Because they're losing money at they don't get anything. When it goes to foreclosure, they got a foreclosure on their record. They lose the equity. And then an investor is going to buy it at the auction, and they go knocking on their door, maybe to offer a couple $1,000 for cash for keys, or they're going to evict them right out of their own pad, which sucks, right?
Yeah.
But we're there to help people. And that's what we do. So obviously, that's what, Rod and we all are signed up to do that, right? To help our fellow Americans, whether they're in probate, tired landlords, fix and flips, pre-foreclosures. Now, if you're noticing on the pre-foreclosures, I know you haven't got you see them coming into your deal flow, but not a lot of chats as far as like speaking to them on the phone, right?
Yeah, I think it's just people, they're under duress and stress and all that stuff, and sometimes it's a little harder, but I think we've been getting pretty good response. Some obviously saying getting the loan reinstated, and that's what I like about the CRM, because now that you and I have been working on it, and you've been helping me as well, so it's the AI part of it. It's kind of picking up how you talk and how I talk, and it's mixing it together. It's just constantly on a queue that is automatically sending, every few days, constant messages. So it's kind of like
awesome
reinstating the lead back up. Like trying to get them to talk.
I'm noticing that. Yeah, you're getting good deal flow, and the people are taking it in a nicer way, because sometimes these people can be brutal, right? There's a couple of knuckleheads in there, but they're responding. They're like, what's up?
You see that, right?
Make me an offer. Huh?
You see that, right? Like I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's working, definitely. And I know that this is going to be the next step, is like either take one of these days, and actually maybe even tomorrow. I know, depending on what you got, right? But at the end of the day, and with others, is that we get on the horn, because a lot of these, the opportunity, like I think there was one in there that was in, I won't say where it's at or anything, but I think it was a husband and wife, and I know you've seen it, right? Where they weren't sure if they had a contract that was real or not.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, that is correct. So they say that they got a contract. Yeah. So and I have it. I have it on my pipeline. And I was going to talk to you about that after this meeting. But So they got a contract, but they weren't really sure. And I have a feeling that they weren't feeling confident about the contract. So something about it, it's not clicking to them. So that's something that we definitely have to revive and see if we can get them on the phone, and as to why they're kind of in limbo with this company contract. So I don't know what it states, I don't know what it does, but I know it was a number that you and I kind of run basic numbers, and it was something around the same ballpark that we came up with. If it's something, I think there might be an opportunity there if they don't trust whoever they talked to in the past. So that might be something that we can revive. And I'm okay with doing it as soon as tomorrow as well.
Because the point I want to share with you is that, it's those little indicators. I'm gonna say, man, let's jump on the horn, right? On RC. This way we can tag team. So this, next step here is going to be hello. So let me see. Should we bring Rod back? Oh, yeah. Turn that. So are we frozen here? I'm going to get me a All right. See if we're back here. So we had some technical difficulties. All right. See if we're back here. Yeah, I guess we are. Cool. Let me lower that.
On Bluetooth mode. Device paired.
Okay. Looks like the internet went out there for a little bit. So I got me a little water. Took a little break. All good.
What happened there?
I don't know. It said, oops, reconnecting on the screen.
I thought it was mine. I was messaging and I was like, the IT is having IT issues.
Yeah, exactly right. I said, man, where you at, brother? And I actually text you. It says,
Oh man. Are you there? Are you still there? Still dropping.
weird case.
There. Yeah, I got it now. There it is.
Lost, reconnecting. Wow, that's sucks. Oh, there you go. All right, we'll deal with it. No big deal. Yeah, I was just gonna say that some of the, all right, you just start refiring those. Because I noticed here's a pro tip, like we're right, because I think you're asking, hey, should we call these people or should we just wait till we get an appointment? And I was mentioning that, hey, it's okay to be a little aggressive and to the point. You know, and catch them.
Yeah.
Or not, like we did with, we got a hold of Lenore, but obviously not this, and, you know, they're all people, there's everybody and their mother's trying to, you know, reason.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so yeah, we'll refire back those up. I know. I think I mentioned to you maybe early last week. There is a probate. This lady said that the husband passed away a couple weeks ago. So I was just kind of being a little bit more reserved on that. So I told her, you know, don't worry, take your time. But she did ask for all my information because she's like, I want to know who I'm talking to because I do want to sell the house. So I'm just not ready.
Okay.
So that's been last week.
Yeah.
I gotta take a look at the text on the CRM and see if we can maybe call. I don't know. You know, obviously it's a delicate situation. Hasn't passed away, so it's very delicate. So I don't know. I've heard probates are really good deals, but it's very sensitive as well. So you kind of have to be on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, very sensitive. And so the best thing there is obviously she asked for your information. So definitely when we get off here, let's connect. We'll add that to your deal flow in the pipeline. I don't know if we lose you again. Shit. All right. It's all good. Yeah, I think I lost you. Maybe do the private chat. Okay. I think we're back. We good? Moving? You see the hand? Is it moving? No, it's frozen. I think it's frozen still. No, we're good. Okay. All right. So when Rod comes back, in the meantime, we'll keep on rocking and rolling. But yeah, probates are a little bit different jam where, you know, they want cash. And it's just a matter of getting in touch with them, hanging out with them as far as, you know, doing those calls, right, and touching bases. And yeah, we're getting a lot of text messages, and you're going to get a lot of text messages once you get the system set up and the CRM dialed in. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I always say, look, drop a little old school on there, get on the horn. What's the worst they're going to do is cuss you. They hang up on you, call them back, say, hey, it looks like we got disconnected. When you probably knew they hung up on you, or maybe it could have been, right? You can't always assume stuff. A lot of people would get their feelings hurt. I know I do. I'm a sensitive guy, I guess, right? Like, oh my God, that was rude. That's what the kind of shit is that, right? But then you just like, look, let it roll off. You call back, you touch bases. No problem. Excuse me. When are you free? When's the best time to get in touch with you? When you're free, yeah, no problem. We'll make it as convenient and as easy as possible to make this all happen for you, right? One way or another, we'll get you a fair offer and move forward, right? But it is moving forward. It is follow up and all that good stuff. And if you don't do those things, because I always say deals are created and made, and every once in a while they'll fall onto your lap when they say, yeah, give me $300,000 for the $600,000 property, and no brainer. Give me your email, write it up, move forward, make a contingent upon inspection to make sure that the house isn't destroyed or anything else like that, and it is worth $300,000 or $600,000, and then go from there, right? So that is something that I would suggest when we're doing those types of things. And the tired landlords, that's even a different jam, right? The tired landlords, when you get into the tired landlord stuff, you made it back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. Okay. So I was just talking about the different type of, it's like we open the call question, the stage, scale of 1 to 10. When you do that, the only thing change is the call property. Sometimes it's going to be an inbound lead. If they're outbound leads, it's a different story. You got people like from Facebook Market, when we're surfing for deals, looking for those leads, you're going to get people from Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, right? And then it just depends on the opening of the call. And that's the only thing that changes, is opening up the call. But the standard thing is always obviously making sure that is who they are, that they own that property, and then why you're calling. Pretty simple, right? And then, a couple of tactics. I shouldn't say tactics, but a little art of the deal, amplified method stuff where you're going to actually get in the door and keep them moving and keep on talking and keep on asking questions and open-ended questions and all that good stuff. So you get enough information. Once you get them talking, then you listen, right? But in the beginning, you want to get everything in, because even on the where you're like, hey, I covered, I got it taken care of. What's the first thing you're going to be thinking of? What's the first thing in being like a person who serves, right? Like with your job, IT, taking care of stuff, right? You're going to be thinking, like I probably ask you, what do you think? What would you do? Most likely 9 times out of 10. Hey, Rodrigo, no, I'm good to go. I'm working with my bank.
Yeah, I probably ask, like, how did you fix it, and what was the resolution at the end, and what's coming next.
Okay, that's beautiful. And then you say, well, okay, well, hey, no, I'm just working with my bank, or I'm working with somebody else, and they're already working with me, and that will be obviously learning the rebuttals, right? Which I'm going to share with you as we move forward into more and more of this stuff, right? There's going to be rebuttals. Yeah. You're going to ask them, okay, you did a loan model. Okay, did you put in the paperwork? When did you submit the paperwork, right? Or are you working with somebody else? Oh, cool. Okay, who? What other company is it? I don't mind asking, right? Because it's just anyways. Or so question. Some people think it's being intrusive, right? Other people think they're being, oh man, I'm being too aggressive. But you can be aggressive and still be polite and professional, right? At the same time.
Definitely.
Yeah. Those are the things that we need to do, that others don't do, because they'll just say, hey, no problem. Okay, hey, great, no problem. Can I follow up with you a couple weeks? Yeah, sure, no problem. And you probably should have just got more information, right? Because if you get more information, you get more information. And if you can actually keep them on the horn, before you know it, you already got a full submission, right? And if you can get them to talk and to get their situation and what happened and all that good stuff, what's transpiring, why did that happen? Oh, you lost your job, this or divorce or whatever it may be. No problem. I know you want to sell the house, but it's always good to know what your options are. And it doesn't cost you a dime by working with us, right? So let's talk about, so then you keep on getting and gathering more info. And so you get a full submission, because that should be the whole goal, right? Is like that's why I always say the mission is the submission, right? You get on the phone, that's the purpose. It's not to get a full submission, and hopefully the goal is to get an appointment out of it. That's well, I just want to get rid of this thing. What offer can you give me? Well, of course, you know the golden rule, right? And that's whoever speaks first loses, right? If you throw out an offer, well, you already set the pace. You need them to throw out an offer. Oh, excuse me. And then the total silence is always, there's some stuff that I got that I'm going to share with you. Obviously, and it's inside the Amplify Accelerator. There'll be some PDFs and stuff, but we're going to do live training as well, because I want to share with you on the mission is submission. When we start calling more of these people, you're going to see that they're going to take a bit more, and we're probably going to get more appointments, and we're actually going to go ballot and get bigger, fatter checks at the end of the day, or I should say better deal. And it goes a lot quicker too, right? Because you notice if they do it at their leisure, Rodrigo, it's like, okay, man, a whole week went by. And then if the whole week went by, they can talk to other people. They start changing their mind. Things can happen, right? And if we're on the phone and we get all that information, boom, we set up an appointment, we get to their pad as fast as possible, get them an offer, and that's how we're going to get the deals, right? Which is a little bit of a different jam, because I know you guys schedule, but you're pretty flexible, because I remember talking, and everybody has a bit of time to make this business happen. Like for me, I like to schedule Tuesdays and Thursdays as sales and deals days, and Saturdays, right? And if we can do that, then you make your appointments to go view properties, right? Or go write your contracts or send out contracts on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. They're usually pretty good. People are in good moods. They have open schedules to a degree, especially for me. And you can figure out, that's why I always say you can adopt the calendar, or create your calendar work based around your work. And then, like Mondays are good admin days. Wednesdays are good admin days. Fridays, like today, is a good admin day / together with some sales, and then gearing up for the weekend, right? Because on Saturdays and Sundays, it's great to talk with those sellers, get offers out, or go meet with them. And I always say, I think I was talking about that a little bit earlier, Rodrigo, is that if we're going to the property, like if we go to Miss South Bay's house, as for an example again, it's like, we'll get on the phone. If you want to get on the phone, can we send her an offer? Why not, right? That's what we're talking about, maybe the LOI, right? Let's throw a couple of things on there. We like to call carrots. Let's throw some carrots on the table. And she may not like those carrots, right? So it may be turned off, but at least it might be a ugly carrot, a medium carrot, and then a nice juicy carrot that may work for her, right? And at least opens the doors to go, hey, let's talk, let's chat. We got it, and then we'll go to the property. The only alternative is, just waiting around, right? And following up. Somebody said, hey, why don't you just go to the door, right? And go knock on the door. And I'm like, yeah, you probably could. It'd be kind of weird though, right? Hey, how you doing? This is Eric and Rod. We're here. Hey, how's it going? We're in the neighborhood.
She'll chew you up in pieces.
Huh?
She'll chew you up in pieces. She's an elderly lady.
Yeah. The first thing she was talking about, right, is, oh my God, these vultures and all these people are calling me now. I said, yeah, because it's public information.
Yeah.
But, the only people that know about it are the people that actually know how to get public information. There's going to be agents and brokers, wholesalers that are in the business, right? Nobody else really knows, because they're not going to look at that stuff, right? No, that's not their job. And at the same token, I guarantee it. There's people that are knocking on our door, the aggressive ones. Now, it's not a big deal because everybody got AI, right? You're all into tech and stuff, right? So there's AI, there's text messaging, there's voice message. Direct mail is still a little old school, but it's tied to the new school, right? There's not very many people, Rodrigo, that are knocking on doors, man. But guess what? The ones that are getting deals. They're talking to people, and they're getting them before other people, right? And I'm not going to lie. I'm not a cold caller, and I'm not a door knocker, right? But I know there's money there.
Yeah.
And if you do it, you're gonna talk to some people, and you're gonna write up some contracts right there at the kitchen table, man. So that's always, and I know we had a door knocking program that we're going to roll out. Maybe you might want to help out with that. But we're like, testing it and rolling it out, see who wanted to join. And guess what, right? There's a lot of people that are just lazy, man. They don't want to go out. It's hot. It's Saturday. Oh, I was going to go to the beach. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's okay. Well, maybe you just need to, keep your regular job, right? Because if you're not willing to go out work on a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, then this is real estate. You got to do it when it's there, right? You got to strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got most of my deals, man. Personally, speed to lead, strike when the iron's hot, and I'll be even if I'm driving and hey, I'm going somewhere else, doing something with the wife or the kid or another appointment, and it's not even on my freaking calendar, Rodrigo. And it's like, oh shit, okay, I take the call, boom, all of a sudden do a full submission, get all this stuff, do some work, and I'll pull over, get some information, like, okay, can you come over like right now? And oh shit, I got stuff to do. But in your mind, you make a decision. I go, okay, well, stuff to do, or maybe $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 deal.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Got to text the wife, she'll be pissed off, or the kids, or whatever. It'll be a couple. I'm not gonna lie, Rodrigo. There'll be times when it'd be someone's birthday, and where am I at? Someone's house, writing up a contract, working on a deal, helping some other family when I should be doing this. And I go, that's why I got out of that, right? But at the end of the day, they know, hey, Dad's doing his thing. That's what he's got to do. He's striking with irons hot. You got a choice, right? We all got choice, right? Excuses are results. We can watch TV, or we can hang out and do this, do that, or we can do the business. Now, it doesn't mean I could have had someone else do it. Hey, call them and work the deal, but there's no guarantee that it would have got done, right? So I'm like, man, no, I'll take this sucker down. I'll go for it, right? And that's just a decision, right? At the end of the day. So that's what I always share with people, right? It's like, okay, grind now, shine later, all good, right? And you can do it and maneuver within you need to. But I will say with speed, the lead is the jam. Getting to the property valley to valley as quick as you can. Sometimes that's why I always say, I don't know if you've done this yet or if we got that far yet. I don't think we have yet, because I know we're just kind of like going like in a slower pace or modular, whatever, just kind of doing stuff strategically, but at a pace that works for you. Is your bag of tricks, man. Contracts, like print some contracts, print your addendums, print all the stuff that you're gonna need in case you don't have a laptop, right? In case you can try to write shit up on the phone, man. Good luck, right? You probably got better eyes than I do, so it wouldn't work out for me. And then just break out. So you should know. That's what we're going to talk about this week too, man. Is we're going to break down those contracts and read them inside and out, so that if they ask you a question about 1A or 3A or whatever, page 1, page 3, you know exactly how to rebuttal it, how to answer it. And it's only a 3-pager, right? So, it's not like the car forms. I think those are 30 pages, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, right?
I haven't gotten a car in a while, but yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah. So but it's good to know that stuff, right? Know exactly what you're signing, exactly what you're having the seller sign. And a lot of times they'll have rebuttals about simple stuff that don't mean really jack. If you explain it to them correctly, then it works out. But also being able to write that out, have a contract, boom, you're writing it all up and you put it, hey, here's the contract. And I will say personally, according to, and I'm not an attorney, man, but a written contract with wet signatures is way more powerful than a digital contract. Every day. Yeah. All signature, man, right? Because they can't refute that, they can't dispute that or any of that stuff. And then break out an addendum if it's going to even sub 2. I've done that before, man. So, okay, cool. We're going to go with the contract. We're going to sub 2, take a look at the addendum, and we'll write up the whole thing, even if it takes like an hour, 2 hours, writing all up, squash it all up, get another piece of paper, squash it all up until it's right. And then, boom, get them to sign. You walk away, with a deal, right? Mm-hmm. And you'll be surprised. Deals come from the weirdest places, man. You'd be sitting at dinner. You hear someone talking about, oh, they're going through foreclosure and a family member or short sale, whatever. Boom, you leave them a call. Hey, I'm sorry I couldn't help it over here, but here's my card. If you need anything, I buy properties cash and we help people in situations like that. Boom, there's the deal. Just from stuff, just from throwing it out there in the universe and your aura. And I always say this, you're an investor. Just say it to everybody, say it to the world, believe it. And I'm not saying fake it till you make it, but you have to. If you don't believe it, then hey, how is the seller going to believe it when you're trying to buy their property, right? At the end of the day. And that's my biggest thing. And I think a little bit different too, that I've always done, that I like to share with our mentees and even students. Say, look, no, you're not a wholesaler. You call yourself a wholesaler, man, or gal, but stop calling yourself a wholesaler, right? You're an investor, period. And I can go, we can go back and forth with other people that'll argue and talk about semantics and shit, right? No, you're not really an investor. You're not doing this. You're not investing in the property. Bullshit. I'm an investor. This is what I do, right? You can call me whatever the hell you want, but this is what I am, right? And it feels better, right? I think it has a better title on your jacket or shirt or whatever, right? I am an investor. This is what I do. And yes, I'm here to buy your property. Cash terms are, however, I can buy it, and making it a fair offer. At the end of the day, we'll figure it out, because the wholesale is one trick pony, right? At 70 cents on the dollar, you're gone. We're still there saying, hey, no problem. How can we pay you more money? But it needs to be fair to us. And if you're flexible, hey, we'll work it out. We'll be more than happy to pay you more money, but we still have to hit our bottom line. As long as we can hit our bottom line and still make money, because look, Rodrigo's got a family. I got a family. Everybody else we work with got a family, right? We don't work for free. Nobody works for free. So at the end of the day, as long as it works and we're providing solutions for them, and we do the numbers, we're good to go, right? So we can pay higher than other people. And I'm always looking for me, that at the end of the day, when you're doing this stuff, believing that you are an investor, and then two, doing those extra numbers, which we're going to be working on later this month too, is the kind of making that transition, right? Wholesale is great, it's cool, and when it's there, that's your first jam. Offer 1, offer 2, offer 3. Let's get it, right? In and out, boom, if we can. Next, if that doesn't work, let's go some cash now, cash later, right? Or we figure out, we're going, look, what exactly do you need? I had a conversation with a young man a couple of days ago, pretty late at night, and I'm telling him, well, hey, how we can actually pay off credit, right? But how much credit you got? I got $30,000 of credit. I got a car to pay off, right? I got some student loans I want to pay off, right? They were like, no problem. Here's a pro tip. Like, if we can get $30,000 in equity, right? And we're obviously going to work it, because we're going to pay off that equity. So that's part of their equity, right? So if there's $100,000, just say, hey, 30,000 is equity. They're going to get 70, but we're negotiating. We're going to take that 30,000, and we're going to have our team do what? On their behalf, with some authorization, go and get that at pennies on the dollar, maybe $3,000 to $10,000. Then we just built in what? An extra $20,000 to $27,000 in equity, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
No, that's definitely that's workable. I mean, I think that I like those type of solutions. It's like I said, I come from the strictly wholesaling space.
Yeah.
And it's like, as soon as I know you and I have been talking for maybe a few years back now.
Oh, I know.
And up until now, it's like where I jump, and I jump on board and wanting to do more than that, because there was I can't remember who it was. It's a famous person, but he was talking about how the last recession, how the people that actually helped other people in situations where it wasn't just about wholesaling, it was getting them out of their houses, but in a good way where they can do something later in the future. Those are the ones that became millionaires in the last recession, and that's kind of what resonated in my head. It's like, okay, well,
awesome.
It's not just wholesaling. It's like,
right,
there's multiple ways that you can help somebody get out of a situation. So I want to learn it.
Yes.
And it seems to be, and it seems to be that's what's happening right now. It's like, okay, you're helping people. There's a lot more foreclosures, obviously, in today's market, and not everyone qualifies for like a cash offer. So there's there's other options that you can qualify them for, and obviously still make some money along the way.
Right. And that's what I've preached in the past. And it's been a couple of years. That's always funny. I know we talked, and then that happens a lot, right? People disappear, they go do their stuff, and then they come back and come aboard, or they don't, or they just say, hey, I'm out of the business, or I stopped, or I moved forward, whatever. But I'm glad to have you here at the end of the day. And you're right. I always say there's two things when the market does its thing, right, Rodrigo? And that guy is on par with what I'm going to say, is that two things. You either have a bunch of money to gobble up all those deals when they're pennies on the dollar, like in 2010 and 13, right, when the market bottomed out, or you're going to have a skill set, which what I'm sharing with you, right, and sharing with the other fellow Americans, that you have a skill set to be able to help these people. And regardless, it doesn't matter if it's a jacked up house, a pre-foreclosure, a probate, a tired landlord, whatever scenario, even nice houses in nice areas, you'll be able to put a scenario together that's fair for everybody to make it a true win-win-win situation. Means a skill set. So if you're able to have that skill set when the market takes a dump, and if you don't have tons of cash, well, you have that, right? You either got tons of cash or you got a skill set to take those properties, give them to the people who have tons of cash, cherry pick the good one for your future, right? Or if you're lucky, you have both, and you're gonna make out like a king and a queen, right? At the end of the day, because you got both, right? But either way, they're both gonna make you a lot of money, whether you got the cash or you got the skill set, right? Having both is for this new cycle, right? Like last cycle, when this happened, right? I had the skill set of being able to do that. And now this cycle is going to be both, right? So have the money and the skill set. So I'm looking for retirement in the next cycle, right? And I got my own little Erick report or whatever when I think what the market's going to transpire, what it's going to do the next 7 years, which I'll share with you as well. But it's just little time frames, right? I like to go back to cycles and trends, go back to the 1800s, 1900s, and kind of look at what transpired. And it's always economic. It's always the government. It's always capitalism. It's always war or something that we do, right? Some crazy human beings doing stuff. But it's always, a lot of times it's manufactured, man. It is what it is, right? But knowing that hindsight's 2020, right? Because I started 2003, so I've seen the last cycle happen. Now we're going to go through it. Properties are really sky high. You're right. A lot of situations for what we're doing and what you're learning is perfect for what's happening, right? It's like the storm is brewing and we're getting prepared for the storm, right? And I said in a couple of lives before, I said, a lot of people are going to go, oh, no, I'll wait till the market crashes, Guess what? Dollar late. What is it called? You're a dollar late and what? Something short? I forgot already, man.
I've heard it before. I just don't remember.
Yeah. You're, was it a day late and a dollar short, right?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, if you waited too long, right? It's like, come on, no, you want to do it now. Get prepared for the storm. It's like if you know a storm's coming, you go, oh yeah. Do you wait till it comes, or do you start getting prepared for it, right? You start doing it now, and wholesaling, yes, is always going to be around. Creative real estate is always going to be around. Until they're changing laws with wholesaling. Who cares, man? I don't want to worry about any of that shit. Oh, okay. It just means that the state is crying and bitching about stupid shit. If you know creative real estate investing, there's always because it's based on laws, right? And you got that square face, right? Agents and brokers all live inside. We as investors live outside that box, right? But also there's a line, that square box where there's a gray area or a line or whatever you want to call it. You never go outside of the boundaries of the law, right? Because if you do, you get in trouble. So you stay within the law, right? But we're also outside of the other side. We're outside of the general law, right? Like it's called the public sector and the private sector, man. And that's that. You're exactly right. You're going to be prepared for it, man. And it's going to be an awesome ride. And you're going to go, man, I'm glad I did this, right? And moving forward, at the same token, you're learning stuff. I know, and trust me, I haven't really dropped a ton of stuff on you. Not yet anyways, right? But that's coming, bro. Because you're hungry, and we chose you to work with you at this junction to go, okay, cool. Rodrigo's is going to turn out good at the end of the day, and doing what we're going to be doing together. At the same token, yes, it's a byproduct. Yeah, it shows what we're doing. It works, and and the process and how we're doing things. Right? Proof in the pudding at the end of the day. So it's always the cream rises to the top, brother. And you're one of those guys, right? So you rose to the top and say, boom, let's do it. Let's work for Rodrigo and make that happen. Not everybody, we do that with at the end of the day. So, but I appreciate you showing up to the party. Most important part, Rodrigo, right? Just show up, brother. Show up, stuff happens, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning. Showing up to the party, even if you don't know much, you could just keep asking questions. Yeah,
keep asking questions, and then things happen. Opportunity happens, right? I always say people go, oh, you just got lucky. You got lucky for this. You got lucky. You got that house. They used to tell me that even the last cycle, right? Or even sometimes now. Oh, you got lucky. How'd you get that house? You got lucky because you did this. I said, no, it's being prepared for luck to present itself, right? Mm-hmm. And then taking advantage of that opportunity, and people think it's luck. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Luck does happen because the universe brings stuff and luck happens. But if you're prepared for it and you see the opportunity, then you're the one that gets it. Right? It's the one
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
prepared. Goes, man, I'm unlucky. I didn't get the house. I didn't get this. I didn't get that. It's not that you're unlucky. It's just that you weren't prepared for the luck to come and rock and roll on your table. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I mean that makes perfect sense. And I mean, I don't know if you would call it lucky, because that would be something that, some people who are not where they want to be want to say that, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like you open your doors for you, and things are opening for you. And an opportunity comes knocking on your door, and it's not because you're lucky, it's because you really are a good human being. You have good work ethics, and because of that, good things are happening to you.
Move forward and take it and execute. God delivers for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Again. You're back in there.